Good evening, everybody. Good night, or no, good evening, I think is what you say when you say hello.
Talking Dirty
with Maestro.
Not just numbers,
not just stats.
it's about what they mean.
I'm going to send to you the information.
Talking Dirty.
Hello and welcome to Talkin Dirty with your boy. Me. Hey fam, how's everybody feeling this week? We got another great tournament coming up in Indiana. The Bloomington Get Down Boogie Down is what I'm gonna call it. I know that's not what it is. We're hanging out in Lava's territory, old Indiana, and a great home of basketball. A lot of great basketball players come out that area from the college days. Go do a little history research and look up the days of Bobby Knight and Indiana University, Indiana State that gave us Larry Bird. But yeah, this tournament this weekend is gonna tell us quite a bit. We only have one team that has a tourney championship under their belt, and we are looking at teams that in a lot of ways have something to prove. And I mean that in a way that they're kind of in a position here to give us a real showing about their growth. And with that, let's just kind of talk about them a little bit. The team that I think has the most to show, Run DMV, under Coach Banks, collectively, I think they've been a little bit of a disappointment this season because there's a lot of expectation for them. There's a lot of talent there, between River Mirror, James Anthony Brown. There's a lot of talent there, and it's hard to point at one thing or two things or three things or anything. It just, the cohesion, the consistency, a lot of things that you expect to see from a team, and that's not always played out in wins and losses, but how those wins and losses come about. And with Run DMV, just quite frankly, it hasn't been good in terms of even how they've lost. They're in games for a little while, and then they're not. And when they're not, they're not. Yes, there were some couple of close games, yes. But that's part of that consistency that I think has to be learned from the mental side. So hopefully they'll pull that together. Another team that's kind of on the same belt that with a smaller sample size, but we were sort of thinking would be a little bit more to show this season under Coach Carter, and that's the Indy Stripes. You're talking about a team that's fourth in rebounds. And being anywhere in the top five in rebounds, the first thing that should come to everybody's mind is, how do I turn those rebounds into points, right? How do I turn those rebounds into points for myself? Because even if you just use that formula alone, you find yourself adding anywhere from 8 to 11 points per game. And sometimes that's the difference between being a top 5 scoring team or a bottom 20 scoring team, because the talent is so close together here in SimWorld Prep. Again, Indy with Andrew Gibson and JJ Hoops. Again, it's not a question about talent. It's not a question about ability. It's a question about it sort of coming together. And, with that small sample size, we should hopefully see more from them here this weekend. I definitely would like to think that. Another team, Coach Lytle's, Coach C.C. Lytle. I won't see C.C. Lytle. I won't see what you have done. I'm sorry, I blacked out for a minute. I just felt a little Elvis coming on. Coach, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to make fun of your name. It's just so cool. With Beyond the Arc. Okay. I know I'm going to hear about that from SimWorld admin. Any letters are welcome to defend your boy. But Beyond the Arc is a team that I think they always tend to be a favorite because of what they do with Kai Allen and Jackson Sutton. Specifically, You're talking about a team that forces turnovers like nobody's business, guard the rim like nobody's business. Top five in forced turnovers, top 10 in blocks. So this is a team that is beyond capable of disrupting other teams. But what does that mean? That means their game is right for, let's see who's been going to the Maestro School of Basketball, transition buckets. If you're forcing turnovers, if you're getting that many blocks, you turn those into points. Do everything else the same, turn those into points. It puts you in a better position automatically right away. There's no really hard and fast formula for how many turnovers that you make should turn into points, or how many blocks that you get, which are in the same family as turnovers, that should turn into points. There's no really hard, fast formula. My general rule as a player, when I was analyzing the game, and as a coach thinking about the game, I want 1-for-1. So that means for every 2 forced turnovers, I should have 2 points. And that's on the low side. If I can beat that, I know I'm doing good. Just because of the extra possessions. So beyond the arc, which leaves Leo Idol, we're gonna see what they're gonna be able to do this weekend. They're definitely right up there. Another team that, just quite frankly, I really would like to see what they're able to do, and that is the Heartland Zombie Stars under Coach Lovelace. They're my third favorite for this weekend. Collectively, they're just so strong. A team that tends to do everything right. Unfortunately, sometimes they have fallen into those moments where they are doing everything right, but what happens? They tend to sort of fall into the habit, or fall into the issue of, I'm doing these 3 things right, but I'm doing this one thing not as good as I can, and that's generally where their downfalls tend to come. Not that there's been a lot for a team that has won the way they've won this particular season, even though it hasn't turned into, let's just say, as many tournament titles as people maybe thought it should have been, me being one of them. But yet again, a very strong team. I'm really curious to see how Coach Lovelace is going to take this to the next level. And we're going to talk about my top 2 teams to take the tournament on the other side.
Thank you for listening to the Maestro. Want to get involved? Bring it.
Drop in discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops.
If you have the brain, join as a coach. If you have the game,
join as a player.
see the game, be the game. Now, back to the Maestro.
Sorry, we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And welcome back to Talkin' Dirty with your boy. So yeah, the look at the top 2 teams that I'm looking at for this particular tournament this weekend, and especially again, leaving where I left off before with the Heartland Zombies being my third favorite, because of what they're working with. A team that is second in rebounds, they're first in blocks. Justin Zhang, Jaden Solis, and Isaiah Orleans. That ability and that athleticism has shown throughout the season, but they're going to be in the same bracket with my number 2 team, and that is the Best Coast Ballers under Coach Dominguez. And even though the Best Coast Ballers are they're top 5 in opponents' points per game, and they're top 5 in 3-point percentage per game, which means their game is built on the outside to inside game. And for them, it's about volume, right? So their defense stays the same with Really Klaus and Oli Cortez. I'm sorry, really, I have to say your name that way. It's just in the book, dude. Sorry. But what they're able to do and how they're able to put together their approach to the game. Outside volume 3-point shooting team, very good at it, by the way, because of their percentage. But they also hit the boards really hard, and they turn those rebounds into points. And them being able to do that, I really feel is going to perhaps give them the best shot at getting a second tournament title this season. So it's going to be really curious to see how that's going to play out. And I guess you figured out my top choice for hosting up the tournament trophy this weekend is a Lone Star. Just a team, they're fourth in points per game. They're sixth in rebounds. There are 3 and 4 between assists and they just do everything well. Already, Coach Simpson really has that team like a machine right now. But the idea is, with Kadarius Momofoku, great defender, Trey DeRozan, Tyler Allen, what they're able to do collectively is so strong. They can play outside, they can play inside, and they do it very well. In their first matchup against Beyond the Arc that we talked about earlier with CC Lytle, with I think it's going to be, in terms of the bracket that they're in, I think that's going to be their biggest test, to be fair about it. I think that's going to give us a really good idea about where they are. And they probably won't get tested again until the semifinals. If they play their game. Not saying that the other teams cannot step up to them, but just the fact that they're probably the most balanced in terms of offensive attack, defensive presence, transition balance, and those other points, it's just hard to think of anybody else who has a better shot at taking the tournament this weekend. And that's what you need. Again, let's talk about this. The mental aspect of a hard game early and then quasi-tests after that into the semifinals, into the finals. That's a long mental day. To not be tested early and get a chance to build up, for some teams that have won, that has sort of worked for them, right? Other teams have lost their first game but came back and won every game after that. So there's no hard, fast rule for how this works, but the reality of it is the same. And that is, no matter how you play your day, your mental focus and your mental stamina is going to generally what's going to make or break who hoists the trophy at the end of the day. Y'all know the deal. Holla at your boy. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me how you want to talk about it. Tell me how you want to think about it. Who you think is going to come out on top this weekend? Who you think is going to show the prep world who's the king of the mountain this weekend up in Indiana? And tell me why. Yell at your boy. And hey, if I'm wrong, tell me why I'm wrong. I like to hear that. I love getting all that kind of feedback. And no matter what else you do, you know how we handle it, fam. Never let Jason Bourne borrow your car.
Like, I need to talk to somebody.
Thank you for listening to Maestro.
Thank you again for checking out Maestro. Drop a tag below and give us a piece of your mind. See you next time.
Well, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.